home. So thank you for being here. Thank you for checking in online, and let's get this banquet going. A couple things we're going to do. We're going to go sort of team by team. Every level of our program, we have specific awards. So just letting everyone know what those awards are. Our first award is Most Improved. So at every level, so at JV Varsity Combined, there's a Most Improved, at B Squad, and then at 9th grade, there's a Most Improved. There's a Protect the Nest Award, which is given to the player that the coaching staff deems has the best character on and off the court, that represents our program the best. Then we have our Cardinal Tough Award, and that's voted on by players. That's voted to the player that has demonstrated the most mental and physical toughness throughout the season. Before we even begin, though, I want to give a huge thanks to those who helped make this happen. Our Booster Club has been just phenomenal this year. It has been a very unique year trying to generate funds for our program, given the fact that we haven't been able to do some of our main fundraisers, which is hosting some youth tournaments. That being said, our boosters have gone above and beyond to find ways to generate funds for our program so that we can even have a banquet tonight, so that we could do still the shooting shirts and all the things that we get to do. I think of all the meals before games that we were able to have, and that's a definite kudos to our boosters. I just can't express enough my thankfulness to them. So gentlemen that are here, let's hear it for our boosters. I do want to turn it over to our booster president, the one, the only, Mr. Joseph Unger the First.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for the warm introduction. I appreciate that. Thanks everyone for joining us. I want to start off by thanking everybody for attending the events tonight. I would like to first start off by thanking the parents. The parents, they have a big part on what we all do here, bringing you guys here, raising you guys right. They have a big part in the season's success. I want to start by thanking the parents. As they've been a great help to me this year. A lot of the booster members have been participating and doing a lot of effort to make this season move forward. I would like to second thank the coaching staff. The coaching staff, with the COVID year, season starts late. We're scheduling, having to compete and contribute with mask in practice, with mask in game. Unique circumstances across the board, you guys. You guys are going to go down in history for having to deal with some things that no one else has ever had to do with. Before you, possibly after you, you guys have accomplished a lot with that, and it comes down to the coaching staff. I, at one point, was a youth coach, traveling coach, AU coach, so I can speak to what I've seen from a parent side and also the booster president side, what I've seen the coaches do this year to help you guys, prepare you guys, educate, motivate. It's been exceptional. I made a majority of all the games live, as many as I could this year, and I saw it game in and game out, the effort, the love, the passion that these coaches put forward, and it was very impressive. I thought, from Coach O down to his assistants across the board, I felt this was the most prepared I've seen his coaching staff get the groups ready. From scouting, preparation before the games, mid-game adjustments, halftime adjustments. You guys were so ready to compete this year with all of these extra circumstances. It was so fun to watch. I haven't had this much fun watching the season in all of my years. It was so fun, and knowing what you guys are going through and putting up a good fight in a tough conference, tough section. You guys blew me away. The coaching staff blew me away. Players blew me away. And I just want to make a special note. You guys really, I thought did an exceptional job this year. Above and beyond the coordination, like I said, and just having how ready the players were. It was just exciting to see. So I would like everyone to give a round of applause to the coaching staff. And then on to the players. You guys really did awesome this year. From dealing with what you guys were dealing with school, remote work, school's in, school's off, trying to figure life out, that's not easy. So we know it as parents, the coaches know it. You guys did a really good job balancing life, balancing COVID, balancing the season, being competitive, keeping your grades in order, man, you guys really did an awesome job this year, and you guys showed up on the court. You guys showed up and really represented the school, the community, the Cardinal brand to the best I've ever seen it. And all the coaches here, you guys really did an amazing job this year. So I would like to give a round of applause to the players. Then get into, we'll transition, just talk about some more of the business type stuff, about what the boosters are about, what we spend our time doing. Just want to touch on a few of those things, and then I'll get out of the way and let this great festivity carry on. Our biggest goal is to support and recognize the efforts of the players, the coaches, and also the other members. So we get together monthly, we coordinate events, we discuss, we plan, we prepare, and a lot of that prep is around the success of the season. We have to coordinate efforts, we try to raise money to give you guys the best experience we can possibly give you. When it comes to gear, getting you guys some cool shooting shirts, practice jerseys, all that stuff comes to it. Coach and I are already talking about next year. We're going to be looking at getting you guys new practice jerseys for the varsity level, and then, kind of how the system works, some of the other practice to the lower level. So we're looking at new practice jerseys for next year. Basketballs, we get fresh balls every year. There's also additional equipment that comes in place. And then, assistant coaches' salaries are part of the booster fundraising efforts. We also have fun nights. Parent night, or family night, we really didn't have that. We didn't get a chance to have a great family night recognition this year with COVID and some of the restrictions. We were able to put together a senior night. So those types of events, family night, senior night, we'd love at some point to go back and have like a student appreciation night, really try to pack the house once restrictions are over. A lot of that coordination comes from your parents, the booster club, and all the support that goes in there. And then this end of the year party, it all comes from the funds we raise throughout the year in order to have this nice event. So it all, you guys have a big part of that. You guys were asked this year to participate in certain fundraisers and campaigns where, first it started off by doing the We Fund Me. The We Fund Me, we asked you guys to go around and generate email addresses from friends and family and parents and coworkers, and we went around and asked for donations. That was very successful. You guys did a great job with that. We raised, I actually have some numbers for you guys. You guys put in perspective. With the We Fund Me, we raised over $4,500 we raised from that event, and that's from you guys' effort. That goes directly into our fund that we can look at and prepare and budget and say, okay, we can buy this meal, we can afford this equipment and things like that. Another big one we did, we sold ads on our website. Because usually we have a program we give out. This year, we went away from the program, from school recommendations. We went and did kind of updated our website, had sponsorship ads, and did some cool different things for our website. And that we raised $3,500 selling ads to local businesses around here to get their name up there, to brand it. Really, they did it. All we do is we knock and say, do you want to support the program? And we got over almost $4,000 from businesses. Yes, I want to support these efforts. And that was a big deal. I really didn't know what to expect there with COVID. A lot of the local businesses are struggling with paying their own bills and paying their employees. We weren't sure what kind of money we were going to raise by going and asking for some of that stuff. So it was very impressive what came out of that. And then one of the final ones we did was the Heggy's Pizza fundraiser. That turned out to be very successful. We had a goal of selling about 1,000 pizzas. That would have brought us about $5,000 from just that. We ended up raising we sold 954 pizzas out of that campaign, which generated just over $4,000, about $4,200 raised, again, with just that campaign. And then and there was a few more just donations that sprinkled in throughout the off season. And we did all that in a short amount of time, from pretty much January until March. It was really from your guys' effort and the other booster members' effort. We worked it hard and raised over $12,000 in total in about a 3-4 month period. And that's what helped kind of keep this thing alive and allowed us to do some cool stuff when you guys did an amazing job. Upsetting Andover in the section semifinals and going to Duluth with the bus ride and the meals back and forth. And those are some of the cool stuff that happens from a successful fundraising season. And that's what it's all about. That's what we put the time in. It's all geared towards giving you guys a great experience. So just want to touch on that so you guys can know the impact. So when we go through it again, unfortunately, it's a cycle that we go through year in and year out. So right now, you guys are kind of in off season into spring sports and other things. Will come around, we're going to be kind of going right back at it and doing a lot of the similar things for next year. So I just want to touch on that so you guys know the underclassmen that will be in the program for the next few years and know why when these things come out and we're asking you guys for your help, this is why and this is where it gets applied to, so you guys can kind of put some perspective around it. Because we can't achieve it unless you guys take it seriously and commit and try to produce some results from that. And then kind of lastly, guys, I just really want to say thanks to, directly thanks to the members in the booster program for all the effort, because it's a pretty big group of us that get together and do all this hard work. So this group is a great example for the commitment to the families and the boys in the school and community. And as you guys know from Coach's intro, I'm the president of the Booster Club. And I have other officers with me that includes Jeff Simon. He's the vice president. His wife Simone Simon is the secretary. And Jeff also stepped up towards the end to take another role as the treasurer. So Jeff Simon was doing double duty in the group. And then we have a lot of other wonderful members here with us today. From Kendra Smith, she was a big part in fundraising and event coordination. Annette Beck is here. She did a great job helping build the website and getting that thing refreshed and keeping it up to date at all times. Jeff Beck is not here. He was at all the meetings. Big participant in the booster program. Jill Hepwar, she's freshman parent, stepped in, did great to kind of get things going. She did big with the meals this year, you guys. Also some fundraising and event coordination. She stepped in and really helped out this year. Just got a couple more. Carrie Jordan, not here today. She did a great job as well with the meals, fundraising, event coordination. And she might win the #1 fan award. I'm not sure if you guys know. She will literally do that, I believe, all games live, in person, on the road, at home. She attended pretty much, I want to say, I'm pretty confident she might have attended all 18 games, you guys. Her and her husband. Now to Sarah Ross. Sarah Ross isn't here today. She did a great job. She actually is the one that kicked off the Heggies and did pretty much managed that whole campaign herself. Came up with the idea, worked it, did a great job with that. Catherine Dutton, another freshman parent, she did a great job fundraising. She also provided a few meals, knocked on doors to the local businesses, and got that going. Denise Landowski is doing our live streams right now. She also did a bunch of live streams throughout the season, on the road, at home. It was a great part of that. Attended all the meetings, very vocal. Susie Himley is here. My daughter Vivian, thank you guys so much for all your help. After hours, long weekends, always stepping in when I need extra help. Robert DeVries also did live streaming, attended the meetings, very vocal, good contributor, another freshman parent. And then last but not least, Jenny Barker, not here today, but she, if you guys don't know, she did our game photography this year, which was very different, very unique. We've been wanting to have that in place for many years, guys. That's kind of seems like a small thing, but it's kind of hard to find someone to put that type of time in and dedication. For some of you, some of you guys that come to the games early have to stay a long time to kind of understand what she went through. She did probably 75% of the games, and she would come at the first freshman game and not leave until the varsity game was over. So she was putting in 4 to 5 hours a night on game day, capturing footage, goes home, labels it, organizes it. If you guys haven't been to her website, I recommend go to the site. She's got every game in there, organized. All the players can be searched by number, by jersey number. And you can go in there and pull out the footage. She has some great action shots. She did a really good job capturing moments individually for all of you guys. And I was blown away. When I kept peeking out throughout the season, we could have asked for a better parent to put in that time. She actually is on vacation. She's celebrating her 25-year anniversary, so she was actually going to, again, step up. She was planning on being here tonight. We kind of moved the date a little bit. It kind of ended up being a conflict for her, so she couldn't attend, but she wanted to be here. And you guys will see in a little bit, she put together a great little video with some of the footage throughout the season. We'll throw it up a little bit, and that'll be kind of a nice little treat. I think she did a really good job with that. So, and that stuff does, it all happens just for the love of the game, the love of you guys, the love of the program. So it's a big part. To the other members that are here and maybe watch from home, we love your contributions. We meet once a month. We meet throughout the year. We continue to meet and coordinate all the way through the off season and all the way up till next year to make sure we're prepared as possible. I highly encourage everyone to get involved. You can reach out to the member, reach out to me, and if you want to help out, get involved. We're happy and open arms. You can come join us. And that is about it for me. Appreciate the time. Thanks for listening, guys. And go.
Awesome, thank you, Joe, and thank you again. That's here for everyone, even who is not here, or those that are here helping us out. I just want to take a moment here to acknowledge the coaching staff that we've had this year. One of my early pieces of advice in coaching was you want to hire people that you enjoy being with, that you enjoy working with. And, for the most part, except Coach Schumann, I think I got a bunch of guys here that I really do enjoy working with. We got a bunch of dudes that really put kids first. They put relationships first. And then they really work hard with these young men and help them to be successful both on and off the court. Very lucky to have these guys on staff. So just going to take a moment. So when I mention your name, a little hands up. Coach Sullivan. Sir, Coach Sullivan. Coach Sullivan is Mr. Coon Rapids. Oh, you want him to stand? That's fine. Stand up for the beautiful people. So let's start again. Coach Sullivan is Mr. Coon Rapids. If you play football, you know Coach Sullivan. If you play basketball, obviously you know Coach Sullivan. If you're in track, you know Coach Sullivan. And if you grew up in this community, chances are you came across Coach Sullivan. So we're really lucky to have him. He truly is a Coon Rapids Cardinal through and through, and we're lucky to have him on staff. Coach Schlinsog. Coach Schlin has been on our staff. He was one of the first hires I had, actually, when I got here. So he just completed his 8th year as well, and Coach Schlin is just, he's great at what he does. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that he really takes care of, too, a lot of the organizational things that can be very challenging for a head coach at times. There's a lot of things I don't even have to worry about because he takes care of it. In terms of the freshmen as well, he really sets the tone for the culture and expectation of our program. So again, we thank you, and I value you greatly, especially helping with all this today as well. So thank you, Coach Len. Coach Malcolm Farley. Coach Farley is a Coon Rapids alum. This was his first year on staff. Got to work on the B squad. He did travel ball last year with 8th grade. It was nice to have him up here this year, and I know that he provided a lot and was able to really give some of that one-on-one stuff at the B squad level that we were really looking for. So thank you, Coach Farley. Coach Holmes. Coach Holmes has been with us, 4 years now already? 3 years. Man, time flies. At the B squad level, I know overall it was, there's some tough stretches there at the B squad this year. This is a tough league, we know that. The thing that sticks out about B squad is that there was never let up. Guys always went hard, guys showed up every day, there were no issues in terms of attendance or anything, and you guys truly got better throughout the year. And that can be challenging in the middle of a tough season, and a big part of that for my seat is a head coach that is also staying motivated and planning every day and has great energy and life about it. So Coach Holmes, thank you. Coach Wilkie is coaching football today, so they have a weird spring schedule, so he said he's going to try like heck to get here in time, but in rain, I don't know if he's going to. But Coach Wilkie was a new addition to our staff this year. Coach Wilkie actually used to be someone I coached against when he was at Andover, of all places. But he was someone that he's in the building here, connected early in the year, and just was really hungry for an opportunity to just be involved in any way, shape, or form. He provided great value. His energy and zest for coaching, and just the life he brought to our staff and to our team was fantastic. He stepped up big time this year when we needed him to. And I know that he cherished beating his former coach and his alma mater at Andover. So even though he's not here, let's hear it for Coach Wilkie. Coach Youngberg. Coach Youngberg has been with us for 4 years now. Was a freshman coach. He's been in the JV role here for the last 3 years. And Coach Youngberg is a great complement to what Coach Schumann and I can be on the staff. There's no doubt. Coach Youngberg's the nice guy on the staff. But he does a great job there with JV. Very cerebral part of the game. He's very good at getting through the emotion of the game and just getting to the specific tactical things that need to get done. And just again, a great asset. Another guy that just behind the scenes, there's just a lot of stuff that he took care of this year, especially in this crazy year of COVID. So Youngberg, appreciate you greatly. And the one, the only, Coach Matthew Schumann. I've known Coach Schumann now, which is crazy. I've known him for over 10 years, which just blows my mind that it's been that long. I'm really, really blessed, honestly. All jokes aside, seriously, to have Coach Schumann as my right-hand man. He just has, we both have really grown in our position here as coaches. We're at the stage where we can sort of read each other's minds, but we also know how to talk each other out of our decisions that we know may not be the best. A play that he may want around that I got to shoot down, a defensive switch I want to do that he knows is better, and we worked really well together, and I just, more than, obviously the basketball thing's been great, but I really enjoyed your friendship, and God knows I've enjoyed your jokes and the laughs over this year and all these other years. So thank you, Coach Schumann. Let's hear it for all the coaches. I know that we are getting hungry here. What we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to shift. We're going to do the 9th grade. So we're going to talk about the 9th grade season. We're going to do the 9th grade awards, and then we will get to the video here, and then some food, and then we will, after a little break there, then we will continue with B Squad. So I turn it over to our freshman coaches, Coach Schlinn and Coach Sully.
Like Coach Joe said, I'm Coach Schlinn. Most of you already know that. The first thing Coach and I always want to do is we want to thank Coach O'Rourke for everything he does. I know he likes to, sing our high praises, but really he's the heartbeat of this program. Without him, we're not here. We're not working as hard as we should. We're not doing the things we should. So let's give him a round of applause. Now let's talk about the 9th grade season. This was by far one of the more enjoyable seasons I've had based on solely just the guys that we picked. The guys that we had on this team were guys who, like I told after every game, guys I would want to go to bat with, guys I'd want to go to war with, whether we won or lost, guys I love, because they were some of the hardest working, most prepared kids we have in the last 8 years, probably since I've been here. They brought it, and it showed in the wins and loss column, right? I mean, we had some heartbreaking losses, some big wins. First time in my career we scored over 90 points in a game. We also gave up over 90 points that game, but we won't talk about that one. The thing that we normally do is we sometimes, when we're at the Civic Center, we bring players up, but I'm not having you guys stay where you are because this is kind of this mantra that we kept going with. It's the idea that we had to lose this individuality to become a team if we wanted to be successful. If we wanted to be successful, we had to become a group of players instead of just a bunch of individuals trying to play basketball. And that was achieved leaps and bounds. There were times when I could put any of those guys in the court and I could talk to them from the bench and they'd nod their head and they'd do exactly what we asked them. Come to practice, I made sure to say hi to them every day, work on our social skills, and some of these guys grew leaps and bounds. So proud of every last one of them. And the thing you guys need to know is I love you and I'm proud of you. Okay? From here on out, you're one of my guys. Need anything ever, you let me know. And don't worry, I'm not getting choked up over you. I always have to do this, get a little choked up, because I don't get to say when the guys are not part of the varsity staff, but the 3 seniors. I love you. I'm proud of you. Don't you dare leave here without giving me a hug. All right? And now Coach Sullivan's going to take over.
Coach Sullivan, I've known most of these guys because I coached through the travel ranks from like kindergarten. All this, I know most of the parents do because we served on the board together. you're a special group because you guys had like 5 teams coming up the trail. And that's difficult, okay? So now we had to go from 5 teams to 2 teams. Okay, so there's a lot of tough decisions that had to be made. There were some arguments in the back room about like picking the team who we're going to go with. So it was difficult, but I think, like you said, we picked the right guys to come, and practices were a battle. There was sometimes it got a little more physical than it needed to. Probably remember one day like we had a little issue, but but we moved on from it during practice. We kept practicing like good teammates do. Okay, it's a physical game. Not everybody thinks basketball is finesse, but it's not. It's a physical game. Okay, and it happens. Okay, we all learn from it. Okay, so like you said, Coach Lynn, like a lot of growth this year. You had to pull together. We had 2 teams from 5 teams. So there's a big process when you go from traveling or middle school ball to high school ball. Okay, it's not just basketball, but it's also the classroom. It's showing up to class. It's doing your homework. It's being a good person. All those things that we try to develop for you guys when you get to the high school level. Because if you can't get it with us, you're definitely not going to play up there with you guys. Okay, it's that process that we keep talking about. Okay, you've seen your probably know that process, right? You guys have been through some tribulations coming up through the ranks too, in the class, okay, attendance, all that stuff. That's what we're trying to instill with you guys. But you know what? There's a lot of you guys who are on the board when you guys joined the team. Okay, and we told you guys the expectation. Okay, you're not going to play. Okay, until we get to the point where you're reliable in the classroom. Okay, and you guys did that. Every one of you guys got to play. Okay, some of you guys were on the board. So that's the whole process. We want you to be a student first because we want you to be able to graduate from this building. So very proud of everything you guys did this year. Okay, it was a lot of fun coaching you guys. So a lot of battles, intensity, what you want. That makes you better in the games when we have that intensity in practice. So don't change what you're doing. Keep battling. Find a way to become a better athlete and a better person. So thank you guys for what you did all year with us. Give them a round of applause.
Now lastly, we're going to make sure we do our awards. So we got 3 awards. Our first one is Most Improved. This, of course, is the guy who goes from those tryout days till that last day. We said, wow, the leaps and bounds they made. And I saw this when I got the opportunity to coach the last 9B game. We had about, we have 6 or 7 guys only, right? 6 guys, and we had to keep a bunch of guys on the court. And this guy was one of the most improved from when I saw him get some spin with us at the 9th grade level. That Most Improved award goes to Devin Boston.
So I've known Devin. He went to Adams Elementary with my boys. Mine spent a lot of time there. So I've known Devin since he was little. And I remember watching him early when he played, like just all over the place. Ball handling, shooting, awesome. When he came in, because I kind of watched him in 7th, 8th grade a little bit, and I lost a little bit of his swagger a little bit. So I said, you remember what I said to you? What do we got to get back? Compassion and confidence. Yep. So he did that this year. Okay. Coachable. He did everything we asked him to as coaches. Helped his teammates out. So thank you for taking that step, and that's why you're here where you are. Yep. Nice job.
The next one we got is the Cardinal Tough Award. This is now correct me if I'm wrong, coaches, this is the award that shows the toughness of a kid on mental strength, physical strength, on the court and off the court. This one was a no-brainer for Coach and I to decide. This was a kid where he played, I would play him almost every minute of the game that I could. He got to play some B games, he got invited, like he is a rock for this team. He is a guy you can rely on, he's a guy who I could talk to on the floor and he'd do exactly what I wanted. He's not here today, I don't think, but let's give a round of applause for Jeffrey Palmer. Our last one is the Protect the Nest. Protect the Nest is the guy that represents our culture to a team. On the court, off the court, this is a kid you know is doing the right thing. He's the hardest worker in the room, every room he enters. And he's one of the best people I've met through the coaching in a long time. Let's give a big round of applause for Al. Al, come on up. So we do have our participation awards. I want to give those to the guys individually after this because I want to make sure I say thank you to all those guys, get a handshake from all those guys. I know it's times of COVID, but I'll take my chances. But guys, thank you for a great season. Can't wait to see where you go from here. There's an unbelievable amount of potential. The message to you is just get to working. Don't stop now, it's not good enough, right? Keep working, get stronger, get bigger, get faster, do the little things right, and the scoreboard will take care of itself. Now we're going to go and eat. All right, coach is going to take that part.
All right, thank you. Congrats to our winners. So we are going to do food now. You can get, after your first round, I've been told that there's plenty, that second helpings are available. What we're going to do is we will do food. I'll tell you the order we're going to go. We will show the video as well, so I'll put that down. We'll show the video a couple times, and then we're going to go on with the B squad. We still may be eating during that, and that's okay. First to go are our managers, our awesome managers can go first. Seniors will be going after, then juniors, sophomores, freshmen. So this came with musical soundtrack, but we can't get the audio going, but we at least have this.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. You're a wise man.
this season as going through adversity and coming through it. Through that, we learned a lot of life lessons and values that we talked about as a group. A couple of highlights for B Squad this year. We had a big win at Armstrong. Went in and beat Armstrong at their place. Second thing, 7 out of our 11 players were academic honors. So well over half of our team made the academic So our group not only had fun on the court, but getting it done in the classroom. Another highlight, I've been around basketball for a lot of years. I've never met a group that enjoyed practice as much as these guys, ever. Now I wish, next step, it'd be great if we could enjoy playing in the games. That'll be the next step, but practice was great. Every day they showed up, worked hard. Coach Farley and I had to get on them in practice. They always had fun. They always came to play, came to get better every day. We're going to go through, we're not going to have you all coming up. We'll give you the certificate later, but I've got just a quick word for each player, something that Coach Farley and I came to know you by. So first one is Ethan Marzak, a player known for his work ethic and perseverance. Alex Sullivan, known for his IQ and knowing where to be on the court. Sergio Torres Lopez, known for his passion and his emotion, both in practice and in games. Wally Akwak, known for his positivity and his threat on the offensive side. Mustafa Samatar, he's known as a future coach because he shows up every day with a desire to know the game, and he likes to tell others about it too. John Petru, known for his strength and playing bigger than he is. Kavion Aluka, known for making us smile and his infectious smiles and laughs in practice. Evan Beck, known as our super utility man, the silent guy that does it all. He plays all the positions, knows all the roles. Luke Taylor, known for his energy and his uncompromised pull-up game from about 10 feet out from bank shots. Every time we know that's going up. Michael Castillo, known for catching fire, being the guy that everyone wants to cheer for. And last but not least, CJ Dean, known as the ultimate teammate, a mix of effort and character. So really, from the bottom of our hearts, Coach Farley and I really enjoyed this season. We thank you guys for showing up every day and making it enjoyable for us. So give it up for the B Squad. I'm going to hand it over to Coach for our 3 awards. For these, you can come up and accept your award if you get it.
And I'd also just like to add on that I'm grateful for the season. I enjoyed my time with you guys, and I just want to thank everybody here for letting me be back in the fold of college basketball. It's something I missed, and you guys made me enjoy it every day. For the awards, the first award that we have is the most improved. This player coming into the season, we kind of knew that he could shoot. We assumed that his role would be more of a shooter on our team, but as the season progressed, we found out that he could handle the ball, he could attack the hoop, and by the end of the season, we even had him running some of our pick and roll offense. We trusted his ability to handle the ball and read the defense. So, sophomore year, let's kind of talk about all about improving, learning what you get better at, so hopefully you guys can contribute to JV varsity. So for this award, the most improved player is Evan Beck. Alright, next award is the Protect the Nest Award. This goes to the player that best represents what the Cardinal program is looking for on and off the court. This guy showed up every day. He made our job easy as coaches. We never had to question his effort. We never had to question his attitude. We never had to question his grades. We knew that if there was a time that we needed him to be there, he'd show up, give 110%, and do whatever we asked. I'm excited to see what he does this offseason. So hopefully we can see him grow and contribute next year on JV and varsity. The Protect the Nest Award, sophomore team goes to And then the Cardinals Cup Award is voted on by the team, the players on the team, and kind of piggybacking off of the last award we just had, it's an easy choice. Everybody recognized the effort he was putting forward and the consistency that he came with every day. So that award, the Cardinals Cup Award, also goes to the CJG. Youngberg will call him up for the JVC.
All right, actually, before we get to the JV squad, I'd like to call up our 4 managers. For the fronts, we have Selena Cardenas Lazos, Sophia Khan, Naya Martinez, and Annalicia Rodell. You 4 ladies can come up, please. All right, so these 4 ladies did a lot for us this year. Being the COVID year that it was, we found out 7 to 10 days in advance that we were having a season, and I just threw out like the all-call in my freshman classes to see if anybody would be interested, because we lost all of our managers from last year. So I threw out the all-call. I don't remember who was the first to jump on it. Anna and Naya, they were the 2 to jump in, and I asked if you had any friends that would be interested, and that's where Selena and Sophia came from. All 4 are freshmen, so very much looking forward to having them for the next 3 years as well. And I remember sitting down with them, kind of telling them the expectations of the season. I asked if any of them knew a whole lot about basketball. And they're all pretty honest, like not really, but we're willing to learn. And they did that plus. I was trying to think on the bus ride to our first game. I was going to teach you how to do the book, 2-pointer versus 3-pointer, free throw, kind of how to do that. And then by the end of the season, I think one of you, I don't remember who it was, ran the scoreboard and the book simultaneously for an entire game. So they went from not having any idea how to do the book to running scoreboard and book. They were the only person that could do it for that game, which is an awesome thing. So these ladies have been great. They've been there every single day, every time we asked. In fact, they kept me accountable a couple times with things that I forgot or things I would forget on the road. They just have to win. I know they're a big support for our guys. They're just fun face to have around in practice, and like I think you all said, coming back next year, so very much looking forward to that. But just really wanted these ladies to be able to stand up in front of you all, because they did everything behind the scenes. It's time that they were acknowledged in front. So
All right, before we get to JV, I just want to just mention something a little bit about lettering. In our handbook policy, we talk about what lettering, to get a letter in basketball, you have to play an X amount of games. Make sure that you're doing all the things that we need to do within our program. And then the third thing is be part of a team. You could get a letter automatically for being a team that participates in the state tournament. This was a very unique season, the year of COVID. We were not in school, then we were in school, then we're not in school. When I think about this whole roster that we had at the JV varsity level, I think of these guys that committed to this every day. I think of our weird schedule we had before the playoffs, where our last regular season game was on a Thursday, and then it was the following Saturday over a spring break, in which our guys showed up every day. Our JV guys showed up. They knew they weren't going to be playing in the playoff game, but they were there. They went hard. They did everything they could on the scout team, gave us the best looks possible for Blaine, for Andover, and for Duluth East. And that being said, even though we were one step away from being state participants, I feel that everyone on this roster, 1 through 18, is worthy of a varsity letter this year. So as we go with JV calling up, you guys will be receiving a letter as well. So kudos to you guys.
Griffin Tom is first. 2, Sean Sullivan. Zach Simon. Tyrell Hay. Kenny Jones. Jackson Edward. Elijah Dozier. Elijah Tamlin. And Connor Jordan. All right, just wanted to say a few things about these guys though. Season started out, and this is a group of guys that really never played together before. I mean, we brought 3 freshman guys up. We had some sophomore guys coming from the freshman league last year, and then we had a couple juniors that are here and have been around and kind of knew what was going on. And we threw basically a new offense at them, at the very least some new big wrinkles there, and we had to kind of mesh together. And really wanted to thank the juniors on this squad for showing leadership. We grew into that. We worked through that a lot. There's some frustrations as we got the younger guys up to speed, and we understood that. But you guys were great. You took them under your wing. You were never impatient. You were never frustrated to them. You were always great teammates. And then younger guys, kudos to you as well for kind of going through the ringer, jumping in. It really was like a mid-season, going to Park Center right off the bat, and we just kind of built from there. It took us a few games, but I just remember kind of we rode the wave up through the middle of the season by game 6 or 7. We were in the game at Anoka. We were really close. We had our kind of first experience of, okay, how do we get to the end game, and then it turns to execution, right? That was our next big step. We just kept talking about what's the next step for us, what's the next step for us, and we took those steps. And I think the crowning jewel of the season was that win at home against Centennial. Hearing that final buzzer go off, we hit the free throws that we needed to. We executed when we needed to. We did a good job of switching into some different defenses kind of on the fly. We ran out of timeouts early, so we were just communicating. I just remember looking at Tyrell. I remember looking at Zach on the court. You guys were really leading us down the stretch of that game. And just by the end, I remember the second time going to Andover, we were playing in that back gym. We had them on the ropes for quite a while. I just remember after the game, their coach came up to us, kind of a side relief, and said, "Wow, you guys have gotten a lot better," and we have. And it was awesome to be with you guys through that. And just like Coach O was mentioning, those last 2 weeks, the playoffs, we came into that knowing we're probably not going to be playing in the games that we have coming forward. Just talking about what the value of a scout team is. And of all the games we had all season, those 3 games were the games that we were most prepared for. We planned everything down to like who you were going to be as a Blaine player, as an Andover player, as a Duluth East player. We told you their tendencies, we told you their roles. You guys learned like new out-of-bounds plays. You guys learned new offenses. You went out there, you gave the varsity guys the best looks possible. I think that's something in a successful season that can sometimes get overlooked. It's the guys that aren't out there on the court in the games, but the guys that are out there on the court every day in practice, pushing these guys to be better. I know these upperclassmen, these varsity players really appreciate your tenacity those days, how prepared you were being there every day, and then the energy that you brought on the bench just made it some memories that none of us will ever forget. You guys are as much a part of that as anybody else. And now the baton passes on to a lot of you as you step up these years coming forward, where you get to be in their place. But never forget the guys that are below you, pushing you to be better. Always remember to thank them, because you were once that guy too. So JB, congrats on the great season. It's been awesome coaching you. Just like Coach Lynn says, I love each and every one of you guys. Stop by 3:45 anytime, not during class hours. Between class, before, after school, I'm always here to help in the building, and glad to be so. So thank you guys.
Going to take a little pause here before we get to varsity. I want to acknowledge our spotlight on scholarship winners. These are students who have a GPA of 3.0 or higher. I do want to also say as a side with JV Varsity, our cumulative GPA was over 3.2 this year at JV Varsity. It's one of the highest that we've had in my time, so kudos. And I say this again, for some of us, our best grades are when we're in the season, are when we're busy as we can be, are when I'm really demanding of you guys on and off the court. You have it in you to do this at all times, so keep going after those GPAs. Guys, my young freshmen, stay on your grades. Turn those C's to B's, turn those B's to A's. That GPA is going to matter for you, so keep chugging along with it. That being said, here are our program spotlight and scholarship winners. When I call your name, you can come on up and get your award. Ethan Marzak. Mustafa Samatar. Arija Dozier. LT Lucas Taylor. The Lizard, Alex Beck. Alex Sullivan. Andre Kenboy. Andre PSCO Kenboy. Jackson Hetler. John Petru. CJ Christopher Dean. Elijah Smith. Elijah Tabla. Peyton Himley. Connor Jordan. Zach Simon. And as we currently sit, the highest GPA in our program, Evan Beck. Going into the season for Varsity, actually, when I think about this season, I think back to the fall. I think back to before we knew we were going to have a season, or what it was going to look like. I remember we were still in hybrid, and I remember just pulling some of our guys aside as we got ready for the year. And one of the things I remember in our conversation with Elijah Smith in particular was the importance that we compete at all times. That we have seniors, we didn't have a lot of seniors. We weren't going to be a veteran team. And we were going to have a lot of guys in spots that they were going to have to step up into roles in a very tough conference. As it turns out, our schedule was only conference games this year, the toughest league in the state. And I remember talking with Elijah about how important it is that we compete at all times. That how some of these juniors don't settle for being Coon Rapids good enough. That they strive to be Northwest Suburban good enough. And how we have to compete every day against each other to get there. How, as we look at the depth of our roster, how we were going to fight every day for those minutes that were to be had. In games, we were going to battle no matter what was happening in the game to build a culture of that group. Of all the year mantras we had, I firmly believe that this group really lived up to theirs. This was a tough team, a very competitive team. Numerous times throughout the season, we heard this from other people. And sometimes it's the whole little brother effect that sometimes drives us nuts at times here. But we heard it from teams that have done very well. I remember talking to Tino Grace's coach and I, we're not the best friends. And he has no reason to say anything nice to me or about our program. But he told us after the game, he goes, you guys are the hardest playing team in this league. There is no doubt. People in our section know. They weren't surprised with some of the wins that we had in the playoffs because they knew that we're going to play hard and that we are a tough team. You guys lived up to that mantra. You guys represented the program well at the varsity level. You guys definitely competed every day and you guys got better. And we sort of set the table for what's ahead. We're one hard step away. One more to go. One more step. And a lot of these guys come back. What do we learn from this year? What do we take from this year? Specifically, what have we learned from our leaders, our senior leaders, that we can take and let that legacy live on and learn from them and be those leaders next year? I want to acknowledge some of our, well, I'm going to acknowledge our varsity players. Shimon, you want to come and help me? Nice person. I think they're in order that I want to do it. Okay. Our first guy we're going to call up, so when I call your name, come on up here. Junior Captain Elijah Smith. This is Elijah Smith's second letter. Elijah Smith is also Northwest Suburban Conference honorable mention. And him and I have had this conversation, but I think I take it more of an affront than he does. That says a lot about his personality type, because I know that he just goes to work. But I think that should be all conference, not honorable mention. And that makes me hungry for you. But I know for you, you don't need it to be motivated, because I know that you're going to put in the work and you're going to become all conference. Elijah grew up a lot this year. We're just upset. Elijah is a player that we knew was going to burst out this year. If at times anything, it was letting Elijah know that he's better than maybe even what he thinks he is at times. That he was ready to compete here in the Northwest Suburban. Being a guy with more size in our team, but also the ability to see the floor, can make decisions with the ball, and then as he got more comfortable as the year went on, being able to hit the three ball. Elijah had a huge year for us. I think of some stretches. I think one of the more defining stretches for Elijah's season is we had a tough stretch the last week of the regular season. And then he went to Blaine and scored 20-something against Blaine and was lights out and played the game of the season. The next game, we go to Andover against someone who basically dominated us inside. And Elijah blocks his shot right at the very end of that game. That says a lot about, that's Elijah Smith just in a microcosm of who he is. Elijah's a fantastic young man, great student, great leader of our program, and as a head coach, I couldn't be more excited to have you back. So, Elijah Smith. Not here today. I know we had probably some AU stuff going on. MJ Gallo. MJ is a 3-time letter winner, and MJ was Northwest Suburban All-Conference this year. We know that in terms of MJ is a spark plug of our program. When he is, as Coach Youngberg would always say, when MJ's skipping to half court, we know that things are going really well, and the whole team is just firing up and flowing with that. A dynamic athlete, a player that has grown a lot, and a kid that is truly competitive and truly hungry. I'm very excited to have him for another year, excited to watch him grow, and excited for him very much, a very good chance to be my first in my tenure at Coon Rapids 2-time all-conference player, MJ Gallo. Matthew Ellingson. This is Matt Ellingson's first varsity letter. Matt was also Northwest Suburban honorable mention. When I think about juniors that needed to step up and juniors that needed to not be comfortable enough being one of our main guys, but wanting to be Northwest Suburban good enough, Matt Ellingson comes to mind. Like I told Matt in our postseason meeting, and like I told most of you in our postseason meetings, there's a reason why I don't like to put ceilings on players. I'm realistic about what floors are and where you sit now, but I will never cap what you can be. Matt Ellingson, you blew the cap. If I were to put a cap on you, you blew that out of the water this year. Maturity-wise, how much you grew up in here, the leader that you became, the confidence you have on the court, And then, of course, the things that you see on the court of your game coming together into the total package. You had a fantastic season for us. Stay hungry. I told you the Centennial story. That was our thing, about how they were okay after their junior year. Don't be that guy. I don't think you're going to be that guy. And next year, you're another one I think we'll be looking at, an all-conference player and someone that's going to be a big part of something very special that we're going to do here. Matt Evanson. Alex the Lizard Beck. This is Alex's first letter for basketball. Congrats, Alex. Alex Beck, you know, part of basketball at times is God-given kicks in. Alex Beck went through a big growth spurt. I remember hearing whispers through the grapevine. I said, dude, Alex Beck's like 6'6", 6'7" now. Great. Very excited to have that. But see, the thing that Alex, beyond just God-given kicking in, a maturity kicked in for Alex. I remember Alex last year as a sophomore getting a sort of sample of JV varsity tryout, and I didn't know if he was going to go to B squad or just quit basketball after those 3 days. But he really, last year, especially at B squad, could really start to see his growth in the game, and then it went with his growth physically. Alex is an extremely smart player. Those of you that play with him, like, I think you guys know, like, he knows where to be at all times. He knows when to move the ball, how to move the ball. And then all of a sudden, grown into his game. Became a rim protector for us. Someone that just was a deterrent. People were trying to drive in against our zone, and all of a sudden, there was Alex. Alex can finish at the weirdest angles, which is sort of why we call him the Lizard. You know, he's got these weird, unique angles there. Alex, you really boomed in your personality. I think your confidence really took off this year. I know for us as well, like when you started getting those JV minutes, that helped that squad a lot. Because suddenly now, and I'm talking with our guys afterwards, like, yeah, when all of a sudden we moved the ball better. And it started going from side to side, and that created shots and drives. Alex, you're the type of player that makes the people better with you being on the court. You proved that this year. I'm excited for your growth, excited to have you back. And next year is going to be, this year was a big growth. Let's have another big growth as we get into the senior year. Let's do something special, Alex Beck. Peyton Henley. First basketball letter. Great guy. Peyton Henley is truly one of the smartest, headiest players I have ever coached. Peyton even knew enough. This is just like high levels of when we installed our defense as we prepared for the playoffs, we did a little wrinkle to what we do. And the way it conceptually is done, we were actually running it the opposite way, which is fine. That's nothing I need to over-drill you guys with. You were executing it fine. It was just sort of opposite principles based on position. Very complicated things. Peyton realized it. Peyton's on the side. He's like, actually, you know that, yes, Peyton, I know. But we're going to let them go. If I don't get us to the locker room in time, if all of a sudden we get to that 8-minute mark and it's like, hey, coach, are we going to meet? Peyton's someone that keeps winning. He's more valuable than even some of my assistant coaches, you know? But Peyton's a very bright kid. Now, what came with Peyton this year was the confidence to take, I know what's going on, and apply it on the court with the confidence to be able to execute it. And I think as it went on this year, he was a kid that was a hunt for playing minutes, and Peyton was sort of a jack of all trades. There was a game, I remember the Rogers game, where we needed him to come in and play the 4. I got him. I know what we're doing in 4. Play 4 great. Got a huge offensive rebound in that game. Right? A huge offensive rebound and score late in that game, which is our 103 to 100 overtime game. I just think throughout the year, just the confidence he gained and how the teammates gained confidence in him. I remember a practice where Peyton was still growing into the role. Ball got kicked to him and he was sort of gun shy not to shoot the 3. And one of our seniors, not bad, was like, dude, shoot that shot. You can. I think that was big for his development too. Peyton, you're a glue guy, man. Like, you've really stepped up as a leader in this program. The guys respect you because you work your tail off. You don't brag about it too much, you just go about it. You're a guy that keeps people in check. You're a guy that, like, you could just, we could feel you on the court. You could feel that energy that you bring to practice, very similar to our seniors. So we get to our seniors. I remember a time like when Monty was out, and you could sort of feel that was missing. You have grown into that type of player, a player that is ready to step up and be a leader in this program. So kudos to a fantastic season, Peyton Hamlin. Going to get to our seniors. Andre Kimboy. First basketball legend. Andre's he's another kid, all Coon Rapids, man. This guy is involved in so many activities at our school. I know in the fall he was up for the fall MVP for sports. How lucky are we as a program? There were two players, okay, of all the fall sports that were up for Cardinal Fall MVP new award, and they're both in our basketball program as seniors. I mean, that says a lot about the character that we have this year. Andre's such a high character kid. He's involved in a lot of things beyond even school here at Coon Rapids. He's taking classes out at AR. He's in the PSEO program. Very bright kid, eyes on the future. And he's a kid that just came in and worked his tail off every day. I didn't know if he was going to be out this year for ball. I know last year as a junior there were some ups and downs with him as the season went on. And I remember we got to tryouts, and we got a kid that's working his tail off. He was very much a kid on the bubble, and he knew it, whether we were going to keep him or not. But the decision to keep Andre was, listen, Andre's going to go hard every day. And in our meeting, we're saying, Andre, are you willing to accept a role where you may not be a star? There may be days where there are no minutes. Andre, basically, to paraphrase, says, Coach, I'm here. I'm excited to be here. I'm going to work my ass off every day. That's what he did. And there were some games where there was, sparks. He definitely gave us huge attempts. He was huge minute at chaser to just bring energy. I had a coaching friend that's been coaching since, Naismith, in the game here. He's watched one of our games. He's like, who's that number 34? Before he lost to Jersey. Who's that number 34? He's like, I like that kid. That kid really goes hard. I'm like, yeah, no, he's a great kid. Great young man. I think of you at the end, again, there were games where Andre didn't play much based on the role in the matchup. But then I go to, again, the Duluth East game. Okay, where it just wasn't going our way. Hats off to Duluth East, stymied us, and shots weren't going in, and they were going in for them. And we almost got back into that game, and Andre was a huge part of that. You guys watched that game. He flew around and gave his very all to the absolute last minute. There's something to be said to being the very best you can, doing the very best you can to be the very best you're capable of becoming. Andre, you really were a star. You showed us what that was. You didn't need the limelight or all that stuff, but you were a great locker room guy. These guys loved you. You worked your tail off every day. You were a great representative of our program. And you were someone who has rode every level of this program. You're what this program's about. We're really excited about your future. And I love watching you do all this distance running around all the time, too. I may hit you with my car because I'm not going to. But I just love how involved you are. You're a great young man, and don't be a stranger. Senior captain, third letter, Armonte Henry. Northwest Suburban Conference honorable mention. Monty, I think I got a lot of hopefully the emotion out in the locker room in Duluth East. I can't say enough about Armonte Henry. Armonte's journey through our program, just like any journey, it wasn't the smoothest at times. There were times where, there were some grow-up times that we needed to have when we were younger. There was setbacks, an injury his junior year. Basically only got to play, I know he came back at the end of the year, but got to play like 3 games or something his whole junior year. I remember, there's a lot when I think of Monty, and it's all great. But I go to this again, and I know I said this in the locker room. I remember sophomore year, Monty started to get a little bit of playing time. Monty brought a lot of energy, sort of a defensive hellhound for us, and started to do some things. And there was a game we didn't get to play much, and he reached out to me. He said, Coach, what do I got to do to, I want to play more. What do I got to do? Wasn't afraid to have that conversation. I basically said, offensively, you're not there yet. And in hindsight, he was telling us, after the fact, now that he's older, that made him hungry. I remember later on in that year, we're playing Out the River, and every time we play Out the River, I swear, those are epic games. Like the last 5 or 6 years. They've been close nail biters. Monty made a huge play in that game. And that's that big spark, that big moment of like, okay, this kid's got it. This kid can see the floor. This kid can make plays. And this kid goes hard. It was really hard last year for him to have that injury. How great was this year to have you? And to also, we had a scare this year. There was a stretch where you got hurt, and we thought, oh man, I know you're going through it, and I gotta act like the tough face that everything's okay, but I'm going through it because I know how much you put into this and how much you want this. Monty, you're a fantastic young man. I've said this 100 times. Your personality lights up a room. Your smile is infectious and it spreads, and you've got big picture goals for you, and I want you accomplishing those goals and being the man that you strive to be. That will make me a hell of a lot more proud than beating Duluth at Duluth a month ago. You go be that person. You got so much to give this world, and you were a great, great leader for us. I cannot express enough the kind of leader you were. Do not be a stranger. I will hunt you down. Do not be a stranger. Monty Henry. Jordan Doe. 3-time Varsity Letter winner, Northwest Suburban Conference honorable mention. Jordan Doe. I actually knew Jordan Doe before I actually saw Jordan Doe. I was at Blaine as an assistant many moons ago, and his brother Wayne was at Blaine, and I was varsity. I was up at varsity then, but Wayne was a freshman. Long story short, there was a weekend tournament, and the freshman coach couldn't do it, so I stepped in. And I loved Wayne. Like right away, I love this kid. This kid is coachable. He goes hard. Well, then, go down a couple of years down the road and realize, well, there's a Doe. Like, is he? Oh, yeah, that's Wayne Doe's brother. So I loved Jordan Doe even before I met Jordan Doe. I said, Jordan Doe's going to be anything like his brother. We're going to get along great. Well, damn it, Jordan, we did get along great, man. You're a great young man. You're a great leader. I was spoiled. I remember your sophomore year, our season opener at Forest Lake. We're getting ready to get going, and Reese Mon was one of our main guards then. And I remember Reese told me straight up, he's like, Coach, Jordan's the one, man, not me. Jordan's better than me right now. He's special. He's going to be special. It says a lot for a senior to see that in a sophomore. But Jordan, you were special, man. You just were so dang poised. We, as I look to next year, the big thing I ask myself is, okay, who is going to get us into offense when it's crunch time? When it's on the road in the playoffs in a game you've led almost the whole way, and now suddenly the number 1 seed takes the lead. Who's going to be that guy that's going to keep us poised? We were very blessed this year because it was you. You were trained for that role. You were from a sophomore having to play in this league. This is a tough league, and you just got better and better and better. You developed your game. The ability to hit the 3 was something that you worked on. But just who you were as a player, but more importantly, who you were as a leader. I learned a lot. Someone asked, one of the things as a coach, I should say, they ask you, what do you learn from the season? Like, what's one thing you take? And one of the biggest things I take from this season is the importance of your leaders in your program. There are always guys that you want to go to war with. The teammate he's really good, so I want to play with him. But then there's the leader that you want to go to war for. And you and Monty, when I think of you guys as senior captains, both of you were guys I think that these younger guys wanted to go to war for. Why? Because you believed in them, you allowed them space to grow, you only really got on them if they didn't do the absolutes, or if sometimes they were a little bit afraid to take chances. You encouraged them and pushed them to take those chances. Jordan Doe, you're a heck of a leader, man. Great captain in our program. We will miss you, but I really hope and believe these younger guys have learned, and your legacy will live on. Because what you've done, you've taught these guys, and these guys will teach the next guys. And you don't be a stranger. Our door is always open for you. Not just in our basketball program, but in this school. This school is lucky and blessed to have you here. You're a phenomenal young man that's going to do great things. Jordan Doe. I'm going to give out our awards, and then we're going to finish. We got a couple things up. We're going to do awards. We got Coach Schuman's senior honor, and then we'll turn it over to senior speeches, junior speech, and our closing. So, these were really tough this year. I'm not going to lie. The JV varsity level, we were sort of torn even as a coaching staff. The player votes were basically hand in hand here. Yeah. Okay, so first, our most improved player. This is tough for us because sometimes you can think, is it the duration of the season? Is it one season to the next? It's sort of open for interpretation. Our guy, most improved player, again, when I look at where he was at the end of last year and to the season that he had in particular, how he improved up here, Matt Ellingson, congratulations. Matt Ellingson. Our Cardinal Tough Award, again, you talk about player voting, this thing was like, it was basically dead even. I mean, honestly. This was really tough because we have multiple just phenomenal candidates for this award. Our winner of our Cardinal Tough Award is someone who, yes, was physically tough all the time, but really had to be mentally tough. Coming off of an injury last year and almost having another one this year, how tough you were, Monty. You know, we knew also that it wasn't the smoothest of years on and off the court. Monty, Henry, congratulations. You truly are Cardinal Tough. Our Protect the Nest Award, given to the player with the character that represents our program best on and off the court. Again, very tough one for us to pick this year. We have a lot of fantastic representatives in our program. Player that we went with is someone that really is what Coon Rapids basketball is all about. He's a gym rat. He's a great student. He's a leader. He's selfless. Even if he's not getting the tip that he wants, he's still going to be a great teammate. He's still going to go hard every day. And someone that grew up a lot this year, someone that, again, is just a fine representative of our program, someone that I truly love coaching, and I'm very lucky that I have him again, Peyton Hemley. I turn it over for our senior tribute to Coach Matthew Schumann.
For those of you guys that don't know me very well, Viv, you may want to leave the room. I'm just kidding here. Don't worry, I'm going after all the hardest this year. So, well, gang, when O'Gork first started, Coon Rapids varsity boys basketball was so bad that they would sentence Anoka County criminal offenders to attend our games in order to extract confessions. And you know, with the amount of hair O'Gork has, it looks like he's been coaching since the Dead Sea was only sick. But it's truly only been 8 years. I think the three of you seniors managed to keep some hair on his head with the great season you boys put together in 2021. Either that, or the topical cream his old lady and I collabed on for his birthday last summer may have actually worked. We really wish we had one more year with you guys so we could experiment with reverse balding, but we know that you fine men have bigger and better things on your minds for next year. I'm also dreading the day that my gal Megan and Coach O would join forces to get me a bottle of Slim Genix, a George Foreman, and have Popeye and Chipotle refuse to serve me anymore. But I digress. On to the great senior leaders of the Coon Rapids Cardinals basketball team. First up is Monty. Monty is the kind of guy who thinks he can take on hell with a squirt gun. He's the kind of guy you need when the team isn't shooting that well, like you're trying to sell bubblegum in a lockjaw war. He can just make it happen. All energy, every practice, every game. He drives the competition, and he dictates the way the team plays. Never down and out. I think back to some free throws he missed in a big spot early in the season, but come playoff time, he was huge, and he was the guy we wanted to knock him down at the end of the game. He overcame adversity. No quit, no excuses. Patiently waited for the next opportunities and seized them. That energy translates to his playmaking. He made so many great passes off the dribble in the paint. in traffic this year. Now, don't get me wrong, he had some big scoring games too, but so many of those passes were in a huge spot. My favorite one was at Armstrong when he brought the microscopes after he spoon-fed Smith. That was one of my favorite plays in the whole entire time I've been here. That was just awesome. You know, Coach talked about we're sort of learning a new offense and stuff, and that was earlier in the season. That was just awesome. I'm proud of that. Hold on, let me find my place. We look forward to wherever you decide to take that playmaking energy next. Whether that's hoops, or sometime in the future into your career, some group of fine people will reap the benefits of the cohesion that brings. So let's give a round of applause to Andre. Great guy. Next up is Andre. Dre is kind of like Metamucil or X-Lax. You can always depend on him working. In school, on the court, and I'm not talking about the Metamucil or the X-Lax. I'm talking about Andre. He always gets the job done. Never made one excuse for anything, even when he didn't get the most minutes. But when he did go get those minutes, he made the most of them. One thing about Andre is that he's always in shape. He's running cross country, track. In the basketball off season, he was weightlifting. He was one of our heaviest lifters for 2 years, hands down. His pull-up game is crispier than Coach Wilkie's twice-a-week shape-ups at the barbershop. Son of a gun's not here. Should have wrote him onto that, guys. Staying on top of his body earned him a spot on the team. He stood out in tryouts after a long COVID layoff because he was in better shape than everyone. Running past people for layups, getting steals and boards. There's room on every team for someone who can get after it like that. Andre came in at the end of halves regularly and made his presence felt with a big deflection at chaser or some sort of defensive disruption. He came in against Duluth East in the section final and gave us a shot in the arm, the one that we needed to make a run and have a chance to sneak back into the game. Let Andre's journey, and most importantly his efforts, be a lesson to you guys at the younger levels. You could come out of nowhere from any level and be an important player at the varsity level. Dre, your passion for the grind will carry you to greatness and a very successful life. Embracing the grind is a hard thing to learn how to do. You, sir, are ahead of the curve. We appreciate you. And here we are, on to Jordan. As the late great Stuart Scott would say, Captain Cool, cooler than the other side of the pillow. Jordan, remember all those kids on your travel team who thought they were so good and who had all the parents that assumed they would be where you are now? With the exception of Monty, of course. Well, look around. Do you see any of those guys? They're not here. The dedication you've shown this basketball club and continue to show your school is unparalleled. I know one day we will think of you like they think of Tommy Copa. People 2 decades from now will say, hey, do you remember that Doe kid? Damn, he was a hell of an athlete. Led the football team to state, came in and played quarterback his senior year, led the hoops team to the first section final in 20-some years. Okay? I look forward to seeing your picture collect dust in one of the hallways here a long time from now. That is, if I live long enough. I will personally blow the dust off of that picture, just like O'Gorick used to blow the dust off the Uncle Bucks at Blockbuster in the mid-90s. Sorry. Thought that was going to hit hard. Oh, I can only think of one time we caught Jordan off his game. He was asleep in the film room his junior year. Now, this was most likely during O'Gorick's annual Birds and the Bees Becoming a Man sort of chat, and I'm sure Jordan thought he already knew all about that at that time. You know, we're waiting for Ohms and Youngberg's mothers to sign the waivers so they can listen in on that chat next year. This school will miss you tremendously, JD, and we would love to thank you for your services. You make us proud to be part of CRHS. There's no question. Let's give it up for JD. All right, and for you younger guys, I wrote look up here, but look over to these seniors and aspire to be in that spot. Your high school career is kind of like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. Hang on to each moment, whether Schlangen Coach Sullivan or making you do squats and cleans and then running sprints at practice, or O'Gorg has you in the team room giving you that birds and the bees speech. These are the things you'll remember aside from the big games. Maybe you'll remember the time that each and every single one of Coach Schumann's jokes bombed at the annual banquet. Very few, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, very few young men get to play basketball at a big 4A school. And this goes for every one of you guys in this room. You should be proud of yourselves and the memories you made during hoops. Hang on to them, cherish them, don't overlook them. You're going to look back on this when you get older and say, damn, you know, those were really awesome years. You only get 4 of them. And this season was a season that none of us will ever forget. One of the greatest, certainly one of the greatest in Coon Rapids history. It's always tough when the basketball season ends. It's kind of like eating potato chips, you know? It's hard to stop. Thanks, everybody. I want you guys to give it up for the seniors again one more time.
All right, we're going to turn it over now to our seniors to give us speeches. You guys can go ahead in whatever order you want. Andre first.
All right, I didn't really prepare anything today, but I'll say a few words before the captains of the universities. I've made it through every single level in the program, and I've grinded at every role I've had, and I've been happy to be a part of the program even when everything isn't going my way. And I made it to the varsity level, and I'm really proud of that. Every position, every level, there's been teammates I've loved playing with. This is definitely my favorite, moving to work with. Everyone works well together. Everyone, actually care about the team. The lower levels this year are doing great. The leaders we have, I'm just thankful to play, alongside them. And the younger guys are going to step up next year to fill their positions, keep playing amazing. And I'm just grateful to be at Coon Rapids, and it's sad to see it come to an end, but I'm thankful that I have all these opportunities, and I'm going to hand it over to Jordan, though.
I kind of wrote something down a little bit. Okay, so it says, I've been in the private basketball program since 7th grade, even playing in-house before that. And I've put in a lot of hard work these past 4 years, starting from coming in as a freshman, getting my butt kicked at tryouts, to all the conditioning, just to miss the next day of tryouts, being a freshman. To my sophomore year, having my starting spot on varsity, all the way to just recently having to play what was my last high school game, basically on one day. This program has shown me what it means to be tough, not just on the court, but in all aspects of life. I've learned a lot from each of the coaches over the years, and I would like to say thank you to them. I've learned, or whether you guys know it or not, you guys play a pivotal role in what makes me a player and a man in my life. As for the players, thank you for buying in and making this the best season we've had in a long time. All the hard work and dedication we put in during the off-season really showed this season. And never once did we try to do it alone. We won, we lost, and had fun as a team. And to me, I wouldn't want to go to war with anybody else but you guys. You guys will forever be with me as I go through my journey in life. And this will not be the last time I see you.
So, this season will forever be remembered. It was truly something special, because the bond that I built with the teammates that I had, most of them were younger, underclassmen. The bond I built with the coaches over time, beyond basketball, that kind of helped me develop, and also helped, players develop too, which they needed that kind of guidance. And to be more comfortable with the coaches and the players, kind of like a lot of players development. What made this team so special is, everybody's different in their own way. Like whether that's race, personality, their beliefs, and we all share the same goal. So it kind of hurts that we came up a step short. But I know this is playing the season for you guys next year, and I believe that you guys will get there for sure. Thank you guys, and thank the boosters, parents too, for all the support along the whole season. We wouldn't have had the season that we had without you guys. Thank you.
I turn it over now to junior captain, Elijah Smith.
First, I'd like to thank the seniors for the leadership they showed in pushing us young guys to get better every day. You guys really set the tone for our intensity on the court, and I'm going to miss playing with you guys. I'd also like to thank the team for working hard every day and showing and putting in the work. It was fun. It was fun playing and practicing with all you guys, and I think we had a special kind of chemistry this year. We all know how close we were to making it to the state, but I know that if we put in the work over the summer, we were all the way next year.
Good job, junior captain, soon to be senior captain. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to close with this. When people think of Coon Rapids basketball, they think of toughness. When we beat Andover, which was an epic win that we'll remember for years to come, I remember that night, say whatever it's worth, it didn't work out for us in that next stretch, but I got a text from Duluth East coach. And he said, even though we're going to be at home on Thursday, you're not the team that we wanted to see. Because your kids are tough as hell. And we knew that the other team wasn't. And that's why you guys won. That says a lot about who you guys are and what this program is. We do stuff the right way. Our values are our values. There's not situational ethics. What's right at any time is what's right at any time. Not just when it's convenient or something to overlook because it's a big moment. I'm proud of this program. I'm proud of these young men. I'm proud of these seniors and the legacy that they leave. Extrinsic season will separate us from our competition. It will separate you individually from your own competition within this program. What I mean by extrinsic season? Extrinsic season is on your own. I should take it back. I'm getting around. Extrinsic season is when I'm pushing on you. That's my bad. That's us, like the schedule. Extrinsic season, yes, we get after it in the extrinsic season. Summer camps, we'll talk about that. The in-season stuff. Okay. Intrinsic season is what will separate. What you do on your own. In the middle of a pandemic, where we couldn't even get in, most of our dudes came into this tryout in shape. A lot of you guys got shots up. That's why we were able to really grow the way we did. So who's going to put in the work in the offseason? Everybody wants to have these dreams. Everybody wants to have this senior speech, I bet. Those who do the intrinsic are going to be the ones that are going to thrive. I will be, organizationally for you guys, the Google Classroom thing seemed to be pretty effective this year. I'm going to be starting a off-season Google Classroom. In that Google Classroom, you will find your camp information. We're going to get all that stuff out there. So the week after school ends, it's sort of weird. We do skills for like a week, and then the 21st we'll do our camp week, and And then we'll do that, obviously not the 4th of July week, but we'll be working through June and July. As of right now, we're lucky. Like we're going to have our normal summer, it looks like, with tournaments, with scrimmages. So we're excited for that. Last year was a weird summer, and we were able to get any kind of work. This coming summer, it looks like we're going to get after it. And that's going to matter, gentlemen. That's going to matter. In the 1920 season, we lost to Andover in the first round of the playoffs. Tough game, it was a battle. We tied them up with about 5 minutes left and just slipped away. And I remember going to the section semifinal game at Elk River, sitting in the stands, and I'm watching Duluth East get ready to play Andover. And I'm watching Andover warm up, and I hated it. Because that was the first time in what felt like a very long time, first time in 4 years, that we were not at that stage. And it burned. It motivated me, for whatever it's worth. I don't play, but I was fired up. And I wanted to be back at that stage. When I walked off the court in Duluth and hearing their celebration through the curtain, it hurt, but it fired me up. Because I remember, again, 1920, going to the section championship game, Cambridge versus Duluth, and it was a hard-fought game. Cambridge was up, Duluth creeped back. Not enough, Cambridge beat them. That hurt Duluth. Saw it on their faces. What did they do the next year? They took one more step. They came to the season ready. They were a tough-ass team. They gave Wayzata everything that they would have. They were most of that game at Wayzata, who went on to win the 4A championship. Going back to us, walking off that floor. I'm motivated. I'm excited. I'm pumped. One more step. I want that to be us next year. Cutting down the net. Doing what they did. One step away. You felt it. You were there. Next year, let's be the ones to cut down the net. Let's get after it this summer. Let's not settle for where we were, but let's strive to do one more to be where we want to go. And when those nets are cut down, Andre, Jordan, Monty, when I cut that final strand, that's going to be for you. Because when we do that, you are a huge part of how this group grew up to do it. I'll see you guys this summer. This is the end of our video.